The PGA Tour is in absolute chaos, and Scottie Scheffler is at the center of it all. The world number one has been furious over a series of unexpected rule changes that have left players, fans, and analysts scratching their heads. From controversial drops at the Open to sweeping format overhauls, the Tour is facing a revolt from its biggest stars. The controversy started at the Open Championship. Scheffler was making a late charge on Sunday, trying to catch the leaders. On the par 5 17th, he hit a wild 3-wood from a terrible lie in the left rough. The ball sailed 100 yards left of his target and disappeared into a hospitality area. Scheffler hit a provisional ball and did exactly the same thing. But here's where the rule gets insane. Under the rules of golf, if officials are virtually certain the ball entered a temporary immovable obstruction, TIO, like a grandstand, the player gets free relief, even if they never find the ball. Scheffler admitted, "I decided to stop the search and go back and drop it. Not something I'm proud of, but I was familiar with." He got a free drop, pitched onto the green, and made birdie to keep his hopes alive. And the golf world erupted. Analyst Ryan Lavner called the rule absolutely outrageous. Tour pro Eddie Pepperell said he was relieved Scheffler didn't win because it would have been a tainted victory. But that's not the only rule change that has Scheffler furious. The Tour Championship format has been completely overhauled. Starting in 2025, the PGA Tour eliminated the staggered scoring system that gave the FedEx Cup leader a massive advantage at East Lake. Now, all 30 players start at even par. Scheffler, who has dominated the regular season, has spoken out about the change. He called the previous format not a good way to end the year and said he's much more happy with this format. But not everyone agrees. Rory McIlroy has been critical, saying he didn't hate the starting strokes and believes the player who played the best all season should have had an advantage. And the changes don't stop there. The PGA Tour has also implemented 6 local rule changes for 2026, including modifications to preferred lies, relief from immovable obstructions, and internal out-of-bounds rules. The USGTF has raised concerns that the Tour may be overstepping its authority, and that these changes could be a precursor to the Tour refusing to go along with the USGA's ball rollback in 2030. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Why is Scheffler so frustrated? And is the PGA Tour heading for a full-blown crisis? Buckle up, because the PGA Tour is in chaos, and we're breaking it all down. The controversy at the Open Championship was a perfect storm of bad rules, bad luck, and bad optics. The incident: Scottie Scheffler was chasing the leaders at Royal Birkdale. On the 17th hole, he attempted a Hail Mary shot from a terrible lie in the left rough. He hit a 3-wood off an upslope and pulled it 100 yards left of his target. He then hit a provisional ball and did the exact same thing. But Scheffler escaped scot-free. Under the rules of golf, players get free relief from temporary immovable obstructions, TIOs, structures like grandstands, hospitality tents, and sponsor areas, if it's known or virtually certain the ball entered the obstruction. Scheffler explained the ruling. The rules official said it landed just barely left of the grandstand thing. When we get up there, it's past the fence that marks the TIO, so he said anything that's in there is part of the TIO. He then made a calculated decision. I said, if I find it, does that help me? I decided to stop the search and go back and drop it doing point of entry TIO relief. Actually, I did that once this year during the Byron as well. Not something I'm proud of, but I was familiar with. The reaction: analysts and fans were outraged. Ryan Lavner, on the Golf Channel podcast, called it absolutely outrageous. How in 2026 can you not find a golf ball and yet receive free relief and have a great look at the green and end up making birdie? Lavner continued, TIO relief at the championship level needs to be examined because it makes no sense whatsoever that, because you have an area surrounding a hospitality tent, you don't even need to find a golf ball for what was a very errant shot. Tour pro Eddie Pepperell was even more blunt. I'm relieved Scottie Scheffler didn't win the Open. It would have been a tainted victory. The rule change demand. Critics have called for an immediate rule change. The argument is simple. If a ball is lost in a temporary structure, the player should be forced to drop in a penalty situation, not get a free relief. As one analyst put it, how on earth can Scheffler hit one of the worst golf shots he has ever hit in his professional career and escape with a free drop and a direct line to the flag. It just doesn't seem right, nor is it a fair rule. The controversy at the Open wasn't the only rule change that has Scheffler talking. The format change. Starting in 2025, the PGA Tour eliminated the staggered scoring system at the Tour Championship. Previously, the FedEx Cup leader started at 10 under par, the number 2 player at 8 under, and so on down to number 30 at even par. Now, all 30 players start at even par. The tournament is a 72-hole stroke play event, just like any other. Scheffler's reaction. Scheffler was asked about the change in 2025. His response was surprising. "I was not a fan of it," Scheffler said of the previous format. "I didn't think it was a good way to end the year, for a variety of reasons. I'm much more happy with this format," he added. "I think having a good golf tournament on a really good golf course to finish off our season is extremely important." The player divide. Not everyone agrees. Rory McIlroy has been critical of the change, saying, "I'm maybe part of the minority. I didn't hate the starting strokes. I thought that the player that played the best during the course of the season should have had an advantage coming in here." The change has created a strange dynamic. Players who dominated all season can now be beaten by a player who just snuck into the top 30. The impact. Scheffler entered the FedEx Cup playoffs as the number 1 seed. But under the new format, he holds no advantage heading into the Tour Championship. Despite that, Scheffler has been dominant. He won the FedEx St. Jude Championship and is playing his best golf of the season. The chaos doesn't stop at the Open or the Tour Championship. The PGA Tour has implemented 6 local rule changes for the 2026 season. 1. Preferred lies. When lift clean replace is in effect, players may now move the ball only within 1 scorecard length instead of a club length, reducing the advantage. 2. Free relief. Players now get free relief in the fringe from any immovable obstruction, not just sprinkler heads. 3. Damaged clubs. Players may now replace a damaged club with components carried in the bag. 4. Pitch marks. Players may take free relief if their ball is in any pitch mark in the general area, not just their own. 5. Accidental movement. If a player accidentally causes their ball to move outside the putting green and is unaware, the penalty is now 1 stroke instead of 2. 6. Internal out of bounds. In cases of internal out of bounds, this now applies only to shots hit from the teeing ground. The problem. The United States Golf Teachers Federation has raised concerns that the Tour may be overstepping its authority. Rule Change 5 clearly violates the rules of golf, which state that committees do not have the authority to apply penalties in a different way than stated in the rules of golf. Rule Change 6 also violates the rules, which state, the rules do not contemplate an area having more than 1 status during the play of a hole. The warning. The USGTF has warned that the Tour may be testing the waters. Does this mean the PGA Tour is testing the waters to see if it can enact local rules outside the purview of what is permitted by the USGA? The most obvious reason they may be doing this concerns the ball rollback to be enacted in 2030. The PGA Tour has made it clear it does not like the rollback, and this may be a precursor of them refusing to go along with it. Behind the scenes, Tiger Woods is playing a major role in shaping the Tour's future, and not everyone is happy about it. The reforms. Woods has been a key figure in the Tour's future competition committee, helping shape sweeping reforms for the 2026 season. The changes include field size caps, regular events capped at 144 players, some at 120. Reduced exempt cards, fully exempt cards reduced from 125 to 100. Corn Ferry promotions, only 20 players promoted each year, down from 30. The backlash. Critics argue the reforms risk marginalizing rank-and-file professionals in favor of elite stars. J.J. Spawn remarked that the path to the Tour is harder now. Kevin Kistner has voiced concerns, saying he would rather see a unified schedule where all sponsors are treated equally. The divide. The growing chasm on the PGA Tour is no longer a theory, but a stark reality. The Genesis Invitational brought together 41 of the top 50 players, but the Cognizant Classic had no players from the top 20. One analyst summarized the problem. Roll-Up is running 2 products, one for the top stars who bring in big TV money, and one for the rest. In a for-profit world, Only one of those can be the main focus, and we all know which one it is. The financial programs. To soften the blow, the Tour has rolled out 2 financial programs. 1. Member Support Program. Sets a $150,000 earnings floor for players ranked 126th or lower. 2. Pathways Player Achievement Grant. Awards $15,000 upfront to Korn Ferry players ranked 21st 75th. The PGA Tour is at a crossroads. The challenges. 1. Rule controversies. The TIO rule at the Open has exposed a glaring flaw in the rules of golf. Analysts, players, and fans are demanding change. 2. Format disputes. The Tour Championship format change has divided players. Some believe it rewards the best season. Others believe it devalues regular season performance. 3. Structural overhaul. The Tour's 2026 reforms have created a 2-tier system that risks alienating rank-and-file players. 4. Tiger Woods' influence. Woods' role in shaping the reforms has drawn criticism, with some accusing him of favoring elite stars over the broader membership. 5. The ball rollback. The USGA's plan to roll back the golf ball in 2030 has created tension between the Tour and the governing bodies. The Tour's local rule changes may be a precursor to refusing to go along with the rollback. Scheffler's position. Scheffler is playing the best golf of his career. He's won the St. Jude Championship, secured a spot on the President's Cup team, and is the favorite to win the FedEx Cup. But his frustration with the rules is palpable. He's called out the TIO rule, questioned the Tour Championship format, and expressed skepticism about rangefinders and pace of play initiatives. The future. The PGA Tour is facing an unprecedented period of change. The LIV golf threat has receded, but internal divisions are growing. The Tour's leadership, including Commissioner Brian Rowlap and Tiger Woods, must navigate a path forward that balances the interests of stars, journeymen, and fans. One thing is clear: the chaos isn't going away anytime soon.